Welcome to this week's podcast, Digital Marketing for Lawyers. It's a great pleasure to have you here on board for this week's podcast. My name is Michael Alf, CEO of Digital for Lawyers. Today is June the 10th, 2014. The agenda of this brief podcast, as usual, a very brief introduction, personal introduction in case this is your first podcast with me. And then the topic of the week, a very simple one, your main website. It seems simple and it is relatively easy, but still a lot of organizations, firms are getting it wrong. So I want to share a couple of ideas and tips what you can look at. So brief introduction, my name is Michael Alf. As I said before, 12 years with Capgemini, one of the largest consulting and IT companies in various roles around the globe, in Europe, Asia, and in Australia. Then 1.5 years with Asciano Project Management Office. And then I decided to found Digital for Lawyers, which is a digital marketing agency focusing on the work with law firms to improve your return on investment for your marketing spend. So let's get into the content of this week. Let me start with that framework, which we've been using now for a while, the Ladder of Awesomeness of Digital Marketing by Avinash Kaushik, and you can look that up and find more information. What that ladder does, it gives you an idea what is important, where to start with, how to prioritize things you're working on. And one of the things you can see at the bottom, there's an acceptable website, is one of the foundations. And then on step 2 is the great mobile experience. We'll touch briefly on that in today's podcast as well. So let's really kind of tackle the basics. And we've spoken about a couple of other things as well. But I thought, well, it would be good to go back and really talk about the acceptable website and how to get started with everything. So we are at the bottom of the ladder, if you like. But you can look it up and see what else is required. So what is important for a regular website? Well, there's things are changing in websites, and design of websites is changing dramatically from where it was before. I want to kind of bring up a couple of items and things, and want to basically reflect that and give you some ways, some things to think about it, and potentially implement that into your business. One is simplicity is key. We have more and more information. So one of the things which becomes very obvious and very clear is that simplicity is key. That's true for the website. That's true for many other things. Keep it simple. Focus on the key aspects of your message and get that right. And don't overload the website, because nobody actually really has the time or the interest to spend hours on your website. So simplicity is key. You should have an opt-in form to build your list of potential clients. That's by giving something valuable away. And that can be anything like a report, for example, the 10 things to do in case of a divorce. Yeah, if you are a family divorce lawyer, or the 10 steps or the 7 steps to prepare for your property for your first property purchase if you're a property lawyer. So it really depends on your area, and you should give something away of value in exchange of the email, which then allows you to follow up that audience. Because people only have seconds usually when they come to a page, and either they like it or they basically move on and go somewhere else. So you want to grab the attention as quickly as possible and convert that into a potential lead. Easy to navigate, which is another one. So it shouldn't have too many layers, and it should be very straightforward, very easy to use, and very easy to navigate, so that you actually find everything you need to find. There should also be a clear value proposition which grabs the attention of the visitor. And you can see here my website, which we just relaunched basically, and we'll put the value proposition right there up onto the top, so that everybody actually can see it, recognize it, and either it resonates if there's the right people, or it doesn't resonate, which means people move on. So it's very specific, and either it grabs the attention and that's great, and then you have a call to action, or it doesn't. You can combine it with videos. Videos are very, very powerful. They're ranking high on search engines, and so when you integrate YouTube videos into your website, that can actually boost your rankings, and you can do that, yeah, to some extent. That's one way to do content marketing. Might not be appropriate in any case, but that's something to consider, and to put into kind of the website approach as well. Then obviously social proof is important, so testimonials of your clients, they should be there, and should be integrated, and should kind of, yeah, stand out, and be very explicit. Then the other aspect is, because the majority of people, or a lot of people, are now on their mobile, you want to have a mobile optimized website, or at least a mobile friendly one. And what we show here is a mobile optimized site. So that's from our perspective the best way to do it, which goes hand in hand with the other side. So you have both sides actually. You have the standard site, and then you have a very, very simplified mobile optimized site, which really just has the key aspects: the contact button, the social media integration, and then a couple of comments about the services and so on. So and the reason being that mobile traffic actually is now as big, or kind of a little bit bigger, than desktop internet traffic. So my recommendation is that you get a mobile optimized website. The second best option is a mobile responsive one. I would say the downside of a mobile responsive one is that there's still a lot of content which people don't necessarily want to go through when they are on the go, when they are on their smartphone. It might be okay for the iPad. So what we suggest is a combination, which is a responsive site for iPad, for example, with an optimized one to get the best results. So this is the other aspect of the website. And when you do that, so the combination of the desktop website with the elements I've spoken about, plus the mobile optimized website, that's when you get the best approach. And yeah, when you implement that, you should have a higher conversion, and you also should build up the client base over time, and that obviously can grow your business over time. So with that said, I hope that was beneficial, very short and sharp, so that you get the highlights as usual in these podcasts. Not talking a lot about fluff around that. Really want to give you the highlights and the most important aspects of this topic. If you have specific questions, or you want to discuss something in detail, send me an email, michael@dm4l.com.au, or find out more at digitalforlawyers.com.au. So with that, I wish you a wonderful day and a great week. Thank you. Goodbye.